Yeah, you know what time it is. It's the Godlab, baby, and we about to turn this thing up. Let's get funky with it. Rolling through the city with the groove so tight. Brother Doc on the mic, keeping it right. The Godlab's here, and we making it clear. We got Effie and Ty here, they rolling near. Funky beats, fly rhymes, we don't need no luck. When we drop that sound, you know it's about to erupt. Turn it up loud, let's shake up the scene. The Godlab's the future, know what I mean? The Godlab funk, we keep it real. Grooving and moving with that soulful feel. Brother Doc's in the lab and the vibe so fresh. Effie and Ty here, putting it to the test.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever time you're listening to it. This is Brother Doc of the Godlab, and we have a special Godlab TV edition today. You know, usually we on the platform on Buzzsprout, and we do a podcast. Myself with Lady Efwa, Minister Hall, Brother Tayer, and sometimes Brother Ak, and we have special guests. But today I thought it would be proper that I give my salutations and just pay homage to the late, great Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Amen. So as you know, Reverend Jackson passed away on February 17th. His family confirmed that he died peacefully, and he died at the age of 84. And 84 is interesting because that was the year that I got to meet the Right Reverend Jesse Jackson. It was 1984. He was running in his first of two historical presidential campaigns. And my parents went in along with some of my aunties and uncles to hear Reverend Jackson speak in Brooklyn, New York at Bethany Baptist Church. And my mother was like, "Do you want to meet him?" And I was like, yeah. I just saw the excitement and the way the people were just reacting to Reverend Jackson. And I was excited because I had studied, you know, I love history even to this day. And I studied Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and I studied Malcolm X, and I studied about some of the great presidents that we had in American history. But here was a black man, to me, combining a little bit of all those things. He was a preacher like Dr. King, a fiery orator like Malcolm X, and he was running for the highest elected office in our country, the President of the United States, a black man. So for me as an 8-year-old boy, this was mind blowing. And my mom, you know, took me up there and was like, "Come on, come on." And he said, "How you doing, young fella?" And he shook my hand and he said, I can't remember, I think he said something like, "I am somebody." I can't remember all the details, brothers and sisters, but I'll never forget how it made me feel. It was such an exciting moment for me. And then I remember watching him at the Democratic National Convention, just giving a monumental speech. And he was talking about the quilt and how America is made of so many different patches, and it makes it this powerful quilt, right? I remember in 1988 when he ran again for the presidency, and came really close, they said, to get the nomination. But, you know, as fate would have it, he didn't get it. But in my heart, I believe Reverend Jackson ran so people like Obama could win, right? So I think he set the trend. And to this day, I'm still inspired by his speeches, by his activism, by the things that he stood for. And even in the classroom, I still do his famous chant, "I am somebody. I am somebody. Keep hope alive." You know, sorry. That's my little Jesse imitation. But brothers and sisters, today we're going to have a visual mixtape. I just thought it would be appropriate that we play some videos, some footage of the Right Reverend, late great Jesse Jackson, just to, you know, show respect for someone that was a big influence on me and my platform. And I remember even getting to meet him at the age of 2009, the second time, the year 2009. I was much older then. I was in my 30s. And, you know, he was still polite and cordial. And, you know, he was, at that point, I realized he was a man like anybody else. But there would never be another Jesse Jackson. He was a hero to me and to millions of others. And I thank you, Reverend Jackson, for the life that you live. I pray that the Most High is pleased with your report. And I hope you brothers and sisters enjoy today's program on Godlab TV. We will be back to our Buzzsprout platform next week, but I just wanted to pause and just pay tribute to this giant of an activist, this icon of our people, especially in the month of Black History. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. I hope you enjoyed the program. Please like, share, or leave a comment. And remember to give God the best of your life for the rest of your life. Let's go.
Just 1 week after Dr. King's murder, the Civil Rights Act of 1968 was passed and signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson.
Now with this bill, the voice of justice speaks again.
This vigil will last 24 hours a day.
Jackson continued the fight for civil rights in the wake of Dr. King's assassination.
He worked long and hard in the civil rights struggles of the 60s. In 1972, he left the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and formed his own organization, People United to Serve Humanity, PUSH.
If we challenge major white businesses to corporate responsibility, we must challenge black ones to major corporate accountability. For if we just change the color of tyranny, but do not change the sting of tyranny, we will not have grown. What time is it? When we're all together, what time is it? When we love each other, what time is it? What time is it?
He had risen as a black leader of the civil rights movement. But Jackson's message had broad appeal to large segments of American society, crossing racial boundaries.
We're dealing with life from a black perspective. When we say feed the hungry, there are more white hungry than black. We say give houses to the homeless, there are more whites in cars without houses than blacks. When we say give jobs to the jobless, there are more unemployed whites than blacks. We respect women. There are more white women on food stamps than black and brown women. We're talking about life from a black perspective.
Jesse Jackson would become a presidential contender, a transformer.
I rise to declare that I can and announce to you this day my decision to seek the nomination of the Democratic Party for the presidency of the United States of America.
To assume that whites in Iowa and New Hampshire will not vote for somebody black is an erroneous assumption.
What took you so long to make up your mind? After all, the 7 other Democratic candidates, and you're going to run in the Democratic Party, have been declared months ago.
We had to start them further back. After all, we started against greater odds. Historically, blacks, women, Hispanics, and Jews, because of race, religion, sex, have been, in effect, discouraged from seeking to serve at the highest level in this nation. A part of our mission is to break down that barrier so as to open up the options for everybody.
Jackson believed he could change the system from the inside.
I believe that we will go from slave ship to championship. I believe that we will go from outhouse to state house to courthouse to White House. I believe we will rise all the way to the top. I believe that.
He was very much in touch with life and death, but he was not a man afraid to die or afraid to live.
On April 3, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. addressed a group of sanitation workers in Memphis, Tennessee. The address, known as his mountaintop speech, would be his last.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
50 years later, the memory of King's assassination is still fresh in the mind of civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson, who saw it unfold. We spoke to Jackson at his Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters about King's death and the violence that plagued the civil rights movement.
How present was death and violence during the movement, when you all were marching, when you all were being jailed, when you all were fighting for equality?
Jimmy Lee Jackson was killed, and Val Lewis was killed, and Swindle Goodman Trainer was killed, and Ed Medgar Evers was killed, so that we faced the torch of apartheid. We faced terrorism. We faced domestic terrorism.
In reading about Martin Luther King Jr., I found his relationship with death very interesting. in the book April 4th, 1968 by Michael Eric Dyson, it says how King had a few brushes with death, and I wanted to know, was he, I guess in the tail end of his life, was he obsessed with his own death?
I don't think so. Dr. King had said over and over again, you can't avoid ambush and sabotage. You cannot live with fear. The reference to death that night in the speech was he'd come to Memphis 2 days before. He had to empty the plane because of threat to bomb the plane. And so at some point he said in the speech, I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory and the coming of the Lord. We thought that was his reference to what happened yesterday, because we'd heard him say that before. Because we knew that when Hoover convinced the Attorney General to wire his house, his home, and hotel rooms, bulk hotel rooms, to pay maids money to see if there was semen on the sheets, the government was after him. The FBI could drop a release to the press, and they would run the FBI release, and the press would attack him. We felt the walls closing. That's why in the last staff meeting we had in Atlanta, he said, I've been with Andy and Ralph and our wives for 3 days. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I've done the best I could do. We won Montgomery, won Birmingham, and won Selma, Chicago. And Andy said, Doc, don't talk that way. He said, don't say peace, peace when there is no peace. Let me talk. And he said, but maybe I could fast to the point of death my friends with whom there may be some disagreements on strategy. Stokely and Rapp and Roy Wilkins and Whitney Young, we could come together at my bedside and we could regroup. Mm-hmm. They said, no, we're going by Memphis first. These sanitation workers are real people. They have a significant work. If they don't clean up the germs, doctors can't do surgery.
That's the truth.
If they don't do their jobs, you can't smell, you can't survive the stench. You can't survive asthma. He's making talking about the virtues of sanitation workers. They were going to Washington to sit in. So he preached himself out of a depression. Mm-hmm. What struck me about it was the three moves, the same three moves that Jesus went through, you know. Let this cup pass from me, maybe I should quit. As he prayed, disciples slept, and then, not my will but thine be done. He had that same basic in touch with God rhythm.
In that same book, they talk about how he used gallows humor to overcome whatever he was feeling about death. And there's a portion that says King and his comrades often preached mock funerals for one another. Is that something that you all did back then?
Oh, we laugh and go. I guess it was our way of kind of letting it out. Someone said, well, if someone comes down, you will land in the casket, what do you want them to say over you? So he's moving. One of the big things happened. I was coming across the courtyard that afternoon. He said, Jesse, you're late. He was an hour late. I said, Doc, you're late. He said, we're going to Reverend Kyle's home as if it was a big formal. We're going to his home, and you don't even have on a shirt and tie. Dr. King, the prerequisite for eating is an appetite, not a tie. He said, you're crazy. We laughed. We played that way. Mm-hmm. And they looked at Ben and said, Ben, be sure to play my song.
Ben Branch.
Play my song, favorite person on the saxophone tonight. He'd heard him play it. And he was shot. So in that sense, we were on the way to eat. We were going to speak at the mass meeting that night. So he died with his shoes on. So many interviews about Dr. King, it's like every time we take the scalp off, the wound is still raw. We were in conversation, we were so ebullient, so excited, and killed so cold-blooded 39, and who was so full of love, was so hated, who was so committed to nonviolence, was killed so violently, and how they cut him off so quick, and he never had a chance. It hurts.
Some of us find ourselves now having struggled so long to get some clothes, we got them now. Struggled so long to go to a great school, we can go now. And go to the University of Southern California and have access to the most intricate information any university has to offer in the world. And we sit there in a classroom with new books and learned teachers and nothing to hold us back. No cotton to pick, no tobacco to cure. Just sit there with nothing to do but learn, and we're just free.
face. What you want to be?
He is headquartered in Chicago, but his message so impressed the Los Angeles Board of Education that they asked him to supervise a $400,000 self-help program for black schoolchildren. The Los Angeles program started at the beginning of this school term, and Jackson hopes the concept will spread to other cities. The idea is to build confidence, starting with even the smallest children.
And I am somebody. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything.
He carries that same message to predominantly black high schools in Los Angeles.
Down with dope, up with hope. Nobody will save us, from us, for us, but us.
Right hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive on tomorrow night and beyond. Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. You must never stop dreaming. Face reality, yes, but don't stop with the way things are. Dream of things as they ought to be. Dream. Face pain, but love, hope, faith, and dreams will help you rise above the pain. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress, but you keep on dreaming, young America. Dream of peace. Peace is rational and reasonable. War is irrational in this age and unwinnable. Dream of teachers who teach for life and not for living. Dream of doctors who are concerned more about public health than private wealth. Dream of lawyers more concerned about justice and a judgeship. Dream of preachers who are concerned more about prophecy than profiteering. Dream on the high road with sound values. You must never surrender to inequality. Women cannot compromise ERA or comparable worth. Women are making 60 cents on the dollar to what a man makes. Women cannot buy meat cheaper. Women cannot buy bread cheaper. Women cannot buy milk cheaper. Women deserve to get paid for the work that you do. It's right and it's fair. I'm often asked, Jesse, why do you take on these tough issues? They're not very political. We can't win that way. If an issue is morally right, it will eventually be political. It may be political and never be right. Fannie Lou Hamer didn't have the most votes in Atlantic City, but her principles have outlasted every delegate who voted to lock her out. Rosa Parks did not have the most votes, but she was morally right. Dr. King didn't have the most votes about the Vietnam War, but he was morally right. If we're principle first, our politics will fall in place. When you see Jesse Jackson, when my name goes in nomination, your name goes in nomination. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it. Wherever you are tonight, you can make it. Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. In the end, faith will not disappoint. You must not surrender. You may or may not get there, but just know that you are qualified and you hold on and hold out. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive on tomorrow night and beyond. Keep hope alive. I love you very much.
I'm black and I'm proud and I stand out of the crowd. If someone says you're nothing but an immigrant, remind them that immigrants helped America to be a great nation. If someone says, oh, you nothing, you're from the hood, say yes, but I strive for the good. If they say, come on, give it up. If they say, I speak the language of love, of life, and of excellence. Hold your head and keep pushing. Young ladies, don't just be bad and bushy, but be bold, beautiful, and intelligent. Put your light shine. Young men, don't be 21 savages, but work hard to be 21 scholars, making dollars and investing in their community and in their community. Let your light shine. This resolve to excel must come from within yourself. And the Bible, Luke 17:21, let the church say amen. Amen. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. That divine, all-powerful source is within you. That peace that surpasses all understanding, touch yourself. Say it's in you. Say it's in me. The kingdom is in you. As I conclude, I want you to know that I love you very, very much. We love you very much, and we expect great things for you and from you. The world will try to make you feel invisible, but speak your truths and make your thinking visible. I want to drop this poem by one of my favorite artists in your spirit. The poem is by the late great Tupac Shakur. Tupac said, give it up for Tupac. Tupac said these words: today is filled with anger, few with hidden hate, scared of being an outcast, afraid of common fate. Today is built on tragedy which no one wants to face, nightmares to humanity, and morally disgraced. Tonight is filled with rage, balance is in the air, children bred with ruthlessness, because no one at home cares. Tonight I lay my head down, but the pressure never stops, knowing that my sanity contact when I'm dry. But tomorrow I see change, a chance to build anew. Build on spirit intent of heart and ideas based on truth. Tomorrow I wake up with second wind and strong because of pride. I know I fought with all my heart to keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive, speak the truth. Let's end this the last time I'm gonna say this. I am somebody. I am somebody. I'm God's child. This is my world. I will serve it. I will make Brownsville proud. Stand up and let's say it like we ready. I'm a leader. Today is my day. Thank you. God bless you for a few minutes of time.